What's up, my epic YouTube gamers? It's your boy, and I'm back from my little unintentional mini vacation here in Af-Rui-Ka. I'm building a walkthrough tortoise exhibit. I had some family come in town, one of the two, unexpectedly, or at least unexpectedly for me. Everyone else knew except for me, and no one told me. But I found out when they showed up, and then I had to go do some house sitting immediately after that. So I wasn't able to upload really anything except for a couple little shorts, which it did surprisingly well actually. But yeah, I'm back now. I did not give up on YouTube already this quickly after starting. Yeah, I'm here building this walkthrough tortoise exhibit. I had these tortoise statues already built, and they're actually on the workshop. You can find them on there. One of the only things I've put on the workshop so far. But I already built this tortoise habitat before, and I just had these tortoise statues lying around. But I wanted to redo the habitat because the plans change pretty dramatically here. Right here I'm lining the whole thing with rocks, and I'm gonna put like some foliage on it. You'll see in a second, a bunch of grass and palm trees and stuff. I wanted to put the pathway in the shadow so that you could see into the habitat better. There's a concept that I've learned recently about lighting gradients when you're building habitats, where ideally you want the viewing area to be darker and then the habitat to be in the sunlight, so that it kind of pulls your attention into the habitat where it's bright, and then you're not distracted by things that are nearby you because they're all in the shadow. But for this part specifically, I have this little shelter, and you go on a path that's like slightly lowered so that you can see the tortoises at eye level. But because it was sheltered, it was in shadow, so I needed to put the path in shadow, so it wasn't like the habitat's in the shadow and you're in the sun, because then it just makes for a horrible viewing experience. And then I also put these little like fence post things around in parts of the habitat, like around there on the edge of the rocks, and also at the edge of the water, because I wanted this to be like a sort of beach look vibe. But I didn't want my habitats, I can't even say words right now, my tortoises to walk into the water, because they're not turtles, so they don't do water stuff. And I start working on this little rock pile, which I tried way too hard on. I look at Caesar Creates specifically, and like little piles of rocks he makes in his cheetah video that he just uploaded for his desert adventure park. It was like the coolest rock piles I had ever seen. I was like, man, I gotta do something cool like that. And I tried, and it happened. It's a thing. I made it, and it looks fine. You know, sometimes you just need to do stuff. Just make things. And I just needed to make things because I haven't been in this park for a little bit. A couple weeks there. Not a couple, just like 1 week. But yeah, and then I wanted to do some driftwood, like it had washed up on the shore, but not actually, because we're not actually on the beach. Just for like a little additional theming. I don't know. I like the way this habitat turned out. It's like, I don't know how to describe it. It feels a little like weird. It feels a little different. But like, I like it. It's not very realistic, but I've kind of thrown realism out the window at this point. And then I start using these pebbles that I put kind of everywhere. Maybe I use these a little too much, and I end up changing the color to look more like the tropical natural rocks. But I do that a little later on. Also, in this habitat, you might have spotted them already. They're in there now. I have the first modded species in the zoo. I'm putting the radiated tortoise mod in there, and I'm dumb. I just remembered because I forgot to look up who made the mod to give them credit. I don't know. I I should have looked that up beforehand. But it's a nice little mod. It's a good little tortoise species. For this zoo, I wanted to add just like a few mods to habitats that I was already planning on existing. So for like this habitat, well, actually I originally wanted the radiated tortoises and the lemurs because the radiated tortoises are from Madagascar, so I felt like that made sense. But then you couldn't see the radiated tortoises because they're so tiny. So I just put them in here with the Aldabra tortoises, and I kind of sectioned them off. You'll see that later. They have their own little section away from the walkthrough path so they don't get stepped on. But yeah, I'm going to be adding some modded species to habitats that are already going to be there, so that if you don't use mods and you download this zoo from the workshop when it's on there eventually, you won't have any empty habitats. There'll just be habitats with less species in them, if that makes sense. And then I had the bright idea to make my life harder and turn the shelter building from just a bland shelter building into a tortoise, or something that's supposed to look like a tortoise. It kind of looks like a tortoise. I don't know. I didn't really know how to make it into a tortoise exactly, but I did my best and it looks decent. Yeah, and then here I'm just building little shelter thing for the radiated tortoises. You can see them there. Nice little mod. And then I fenced them off because, again, I don't know if I already mentioned this, it's a walkthrough and I don't want them getting stepped on. And we're already at the cinematics. This was a very short video, but you know, sometimes shorter is better. I prefer shorter videos on YouTube. There's the yawn. See, I was wondering when that was gonna pop up. I gotta do it like once a video. Otherwise, it's not a video, an Alfred Supersize video. If I don't yawn at least once. But yeah, I really like how this little walkthrough area turned out. It's the final habitat in the beaches and coasts, or islands and coasts, not beaches and coasts. The islands and coast section of the whole zoo's African. But there's other two habitats here that I haven't really shown them off super much, a lot. I don't know, words. I already built them previously before I even started doing YouTube stuff, but I'm just going to try, for the next video, I'm going to try and finish up the whole islands and coasts section, like, for good, make that, like, 100%, because I haven't really 100%ed anything in this zoo, and that's something I struggle to do, is completing projects, but I'm going to do it. So, I'll see you next time. If you liked, subscribe, like, whatever you want to do, and till we meet again, bye.